What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be installing new sprocket and new chain on the CFMOTO 800MT. So it's due for replacement. It's a bit stretched. I think there's one link that's a bit seized in it and it's not flowing freely around the sprocket very well, so thought why not change it and actually go into a lower tooth sprocket on the rear. So roll it intro and I'll get into explaining what's going on. So things I've got is a DJI 520 VX3 chain. It's a 120 link chain, 520 pitch. I wanted to get the gold one, but they didn't have gold, so I just got silver. So that should fit the new chain, the new sprocket. If you are going for a new chain on a standard sprocket, I believe you may need 123 or 124 link, something a bit longer than this. What I've got here is a stealth super sprocket stealth sprocket. It's I think it's aluminium center with titanium teeth. So that's really light. I'll do a bit of a comparison about weight as well. So going to a 42 tooth sprocket instead of a 45, I believe is on this, it'll give me up in the higher rev range at higher speeds. Higher speeds will give me lower revs. Down in the bottom, it's going to give not as jerky. It's meant to take the jerkiness out of it and not as twitchy on the throttle, but it means the gears will be longer. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, I do a lot of commuting, so it may fix the little bit jerkiness that people complain about on these bikes. So there are two items there. The sprocket was $139.95, chain was $124.95. Did get that on special for $98, and I think they knocked 15 bucks off that sprocket. So I'll get into the tools that you'll need. So going off what I can see on the bike, the tools you'll need. First off, you'll need a 5mm Allen key. That will take the bolts out of the cover to get the cover off. Then you'll need a 1/2 inch spanner for the bolts for the sprocket and a T40 Torx bit that will get the sprocket off. To get the chain off, you've got to use a chain breaker. So I've got a Mobike chain breaker here, and you'll need a grinder. So you can either cut the whole chain in half and cut it off, or grind one of the pins out, the rivet pins off, and push the pin through if you want to do it that way. And the nut off the wheel, let me have a look. I've got my socket here, 32mm. So the nut for the wheel is actually 32mm, and I've got a breaker bar here just for that. Should be all the tools you need. If I do come across anything else that we need for the bike, I'll let you know, but we'll get into it now and see how difficult this job is. Doesn't look too difficult, but that's right. All right, let's have a look. So first off, I'm starting to take these screws off here to get this cover off. Moving around to the other side, there is another couple of bolts here to get off. So there's 5 bolts that hold this cover on, and then it just pulls out over the wheel like that. So now while that cover's off, I'm going to get the sprocket cover off here. This just helps give me access to the chain. And that's full of gunk there. So glad I took that off. It'll definitely need a clean up. Lots of crap built up in here, so I'll definitely be giving that a clean. So here I thought it'd be smart to put some gloves on. So after struggling to get it into neutral, I got it out. So I finally decided to put gloves on because this chain is covered in grease and oil. Like that's just a ball of grease there, which is built up in there. So obviously it's either been over greased or whatever the go is, but I'm glad I'm changing this out now. Alright, so I just lost the clip that I just filmed, but I took the rear wheel off here. And what I've done is I've actually put a couple of pieces of tape around the chain here because I'm going to grind this pin off to use a chain breaker on it. And it's all secure there. If you are going to be using a Dremel tool or something to be grinding, make sure you wear safety glasses because you don't want to end up with a piece of disc in your eye. So just want to grind this down until it's flush. And once it's flushed, that means that you can use a chain breaker on it. Alright, it's looking pretty flush to me. I did nick the swing arm, but that's just a bit of paint. That's all good. Chain breaker time. So chain breaker and rivet tool. Remember the instructions. And the chain breaker tool itself. And it also comes with a handle. And a couple of different pins for different chain sizes. So we'll have a look at them, see which one suits. Best thing to do is get your new chain and see which rivet size, or if you can see the circle, just have a look. So that middle one there is probably the one that I need. Chain breaker, this one, take this top circle out. And then there'll be a spring, there'll be a ball bearing and that in there. I'll take that ball bearing out of there. It's actually greased in there, so keep a bit of that grease on it. Chuck the ball bearing in the top of your new one. There is a spring in here. You want to put that in the middle of that spring. Slide her on down and reinstate your press tool. Make sure it comes out the bottom there, actually. The reason it didn't come out of the bottom of the alignment tool is I forgot to change the cap. So grab the right cap and that sits in there. And then that will pop out there like that. And then you can put your press piece back in. So what you want to do is you want to line this pin here up with the pin that you've just shaved off. And this part here, so just pull that out a bit. This part here needs to be lined up, so it's your alignment tool. Quickly try to get this sorted. I'll put the handle on just to help me out a bit. So I didn't check what size this is. 14. So what you want to do is you want to start wheeling that in. If it gives you any pressure, you probably haven't aligned it properly, which it does take a couple of tries to get. But once it gets there, you'll be a little, there you go. So I got it there. Just feed that in. That's loose now, so that should be the chain broken. Cool, there we go. That's the pin that we just pressed out, and the chain is now broken. Get rid of that tape, get rid of that tape, and pull your old chain through. There we go, old greasy chain, all done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a bit of a spray of degreaser and clean this up a little bit while I'm under here. So I've got a bit of degreaser and a brush. Just come in and give her a bit of a clean. So once that chain's off, I said it's going to give her a bit of a clean through here. A bit of degreaser. Clean up some of the crap in here. It's not too bad, it was mostly just built up on that chain. And I've only got one spray bottle of degreaser, so I just DIY'd up a spray bottle of water. Make sure my drip tray's underneath there alright. Alright, what I'm going to do now is just going to give this bear a bit of cleanup. Just get a bit of this chunkier stuff off, and then we'll get back to the chain install. So just unboxed the new chain, came with a rivet link as well. We'll show you how to do that one soon. This is your chain, so measure your chain up against your old one, make sure it is the right length. And then I just want to feed it through the guide and over the sprocket and the motor, keeping your fingers away from pinch points. Try feed it, should follow the sprocket around a bit. Make sure it comes off and then be able to pull it through. So, there we go. All right. Then once we got that, we've got to start on the rivet link. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Just going to wrap a bit of tape around it, just so it holds it there. And then again for this one, I'm going to leave a bit of room so I can work with, but I want to probably tape it about there. So now we've got some room to work up here. And I realised I didn't put my gloves back on, so I've got dirty hands. Oh well. So what your rivet link comes with is your link, your end plate, and 4 O-rings and a bit of grease. So what you want to do is you want to put some grease on here and the 2 O-rings. So just want to grab our 2 O-rings, just slide them over a bit. I'm just going to cut the corner off this so I can squeeze the grease out a bit easier. So just get those O-rings to the bottom, squeeze a bit of grease there, a bit of grease there, put those O-rings back down, and just make sure there's grease all around here. So you get a fair bit of grease, which is good. Just make sure that's all greased up. And then this here, let me zoom my camera in. So you can see what we're working with. Slide it through one, and slide it through the other. I haven't really taped this down very long. Bit of an angle. That's in there. Same thing again with the grease. Bit of grease on there, bit of grease on there. Another O-ring, another O-ring. Make sure we get that grease on there nice and well. Then we've got the cover plate. So the cover plate does have text on one side and blank on the other. You do want that text on the outside and push it on. So it's going to start, but you'll need to use the tools to get it all the way on, and that's what we're going to do. So What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use that the breaker bit and push it on. So you want to go from left side to right side, right side. Just getting it on. So this can be a bit of a tedious job, getting that through. But this is where the vernier calipers come in handy, because what you're going to need to do, I don't know if I filmed after that, but let's get this camera sorted. I'm very good at this stuff. A bit too zoomed in. Alright, so I've got it started, but this is where your vernier calipers come in handy. These ones don't have battery. Yeah. So what you want to do is you want to measure the link next to it and see where we're at. And then you want to get that one to about the same. So here I can see we're about 1 millimeter off still. So put it in. Take your time with it, you don't want to over press it. Cool. Once that's done, it comes to the riveting time. So make sure that's all free, all good. Riveting time. So this is your rivet head here. It's got the ball bearing on it. Now that will replace this part here. So you unscrew that. Alright, now it's time for riveting. So I've got this set up. It's the little ball head that you want on here, and 22mm or a shifter for that. This rivet head here, you want to line this up. Sorry, my head might get in the way for a second. So you want to line that ball up right on that rivet link, and then grab the handle and just flare it a little bit. Check that you're going to have the grease run out of there, but that's alright. Make sure you've got some good flare on it there. And just want to jump on this side, do the same again. Line that ball up with the link. Get it seated nicely. Get your shifter out. Pull it off. Now let's have a look at it. Sorry. Once you're happy with the way it's riveted, I'm just going to undo this tape so I can get the chain loose again. There we go. So having a look at it, looking all good. She's looking solid. She ain't going to come off. There's the new chain on the bike. So new chain's on, rolling around nice and smooth. Hands are filthy, but let's get onto the sprocket now. Alright, for the sprocket, I don't have a proper Torx screwdriver thing, so I probably should have grabbed one of them, but let's see how we go with this. Alright, so that took me a bit of time to get off, but I'm not going to do it on camera because it'll take too long, but what I'm going to do is show you what I'm going to do here. So put a bit of Loctite, blue Loctite on there, because that's what I had on there before. Tuck it through, do the nut up on the back, And then once all those nuts are done up, I'll chuck it back on the bike, and once I'm up to that step, I'll get back onto it. I don't think you want to watch me do up 6 nuts. So just going to get a better socket than this. So also going to go get myself a proper torque bit, not this crappy thing I'm using now. So once I do that, to do these up properly, we'll get this back on the bike. All right, this is my second time doing this because my camera didn't want to record the first time. So getting the bike back on here, so you want to be wary that your disc brake is going to be loose. It just sits in there. Tires in the way. Yeah, so that just sits, that little channel there just sits in there. So beware that that is loose. Flip your tire around the right way, slide it in, make sure that chain is the right way. So get the chain all the way on, and then we need to get the axle back in, which is a bit of a pain because it is low. So here's your axle, and you sort of need to lift the bike up. Alright, so now I've got the axle partially sorted. Took me a lot longer than I actually anticipated. Just got to feed it back through there now, which can be a bit of a pain in the butt. Just to get everything lined up here. Alright, so after some crazy ingenuity and way longer than I'd actually like to admit, I've got it on. Sprockets on, chains on, wheels on. Getting the wheel back on, I recommend having 2 people because it's an absolute bitch to put on. So now I'm just going to even up this chain, make sure she's not going to be too tight. Alright, just like before in reverse, just going to put everything back together. Gave this a bit of a scrub off. So that's the installation of the chain and sprocket. Covered in oil, bike covered in oil. It probably took, don't watch on, probably took about 2 hours maybe. Just getting that rear wheel back on by myself was pretty hard. There's like a little cone piece. You need to get the brake caliper and everything mounted as well as lift it. All I did is stack a heap of shit on the back here and tried to get the bike weighed down, so it wasn't as hard to pull down when I lined it up. But said recommend maybe 2 people if you're going to do it. So I won't have time to take it for a test ride today, but I will in the future. Take it for a run, give it a bit, and then come back and see how it is. See if it does make the jerkiness go away, if it does improve the revs up high. What I didn't do is I didn't actually have a look at my RPMs when I'm sitting on about 100k an hour. I think they're about 4.5, 4.6. Can't remember, I'll have to look. I'm gonna have to look through some old videos and see if there's anything I can read on the dash there. So links to the items will be in the description. I'll put a list of tools up that you require at the start here. And anything else that I've forgotten, I'll put in text on the side because there was a couple of tools that I didn't realize I needed. Apart from that, wasn't too bad of a process, so yeah, all in all, it's not too bad. All right, well, thanks for tuning into this one. See you in the next one.